I'm Scott Clark.
And I'm Rick Entrop.
And we are coming to you from the coffee shop. We are at the 148th Street Coffee Shop in Bellevue, Washington, which happens to, on Sundays, turn into the lobby of a church.
Yes.
Yay!
Because it's Sunday, November 17th.
Oh my gosh, it is Sunday, November 17th. I'm cracking up because the music is so loud that like I can't hear myself think.
Right.
But yeah, so Rick found this place. Tell us about the ping pong table.
Yeah, okay, so they said they had a ping pong table and just a lot of room, and it seemed like a real college-y, campus-y kind of atmosphere. I was like, oh, cool, check that out. And didn't fail to find the information needed where it was a church on Sunday. I just said they were open at 9 on Sunday. So.
Nice. Well, and Scott was saying too, you looked it up on Yelp?
Yeah, they're only open for 3 hours.
So that
makes
isn't that weird that they're only open for 3 hours and we walk in and it's like we look around?
They close right at lunch.
Right.
Okay, we're done.
Oh, I see what's going on.
Right.
It is church town.
Yeah.
We're a super friendly bunch.
Great. We got VIP parking.
Yeah.
We just pulled in and we're like, we're just here for coffee. And then you get VIP parking. So we parked right up front. And yeah, they moved the cone over.
Was that what that was? I parked in regular church parking then.
Yeah. Was it below or just on the side? Or where did you guys park?
We got here early enough. There was like 3 cars here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we ran late. So.
Totally.
But yeah, but we've decided that we're not gonna.
We're gonna give it a minute. If it's as loud as it just was, or a minute ago they had someone talking, then maybe we'll pause and relocate if the sound becomes a problem.
I think we're gonna make this a duo coffee shop podcast possibly because
we're
going to go somewhere else and
Oh
finish
yeah.
Do
I
true,
didn't know what you mean by
guerrilla
duo.
style. Do it on the run.
Yeah, there we go. So.
We can record in the car on the way driving to a different place.
Right.
Right?
Well, don't worry, you'll still get your hours worth. So
for sure.
Don't tune out.
It's true. Stick in there, and maybe you'll hear some good Christian rock music in the background.
Right. But when it gets too loud, we're
sorry. I just
in the interest of you, the listener.
Yes.
And speaking of religion, I actually had an idea. I actually heard a great idea for a T-shirt, and it's God is an atheist.
God is an atheist?
I mean,
what does that mean?
Himself?
Well, what religion would he have? It's like I go to pray to myself, or no, he is.
Well, he believes in himself, though. I mean, agnostic doesn't believe in God. Though, right?
But I think it's just ironic enough to be funny. I think it's kind of funny.
Interesting.
Atheist? Yeah,
atheist doesn't believe in God.
Right.
Atheist, does not. Agnostic believes there's no way to tell whether there is a God or not, because Gnostic means it's like knowledge.
Yeah.
So a Gnostic is no knowledge, so you cannot have knowledge of a God. Atheist is no God, so you believe there is no God.
Gotcha.
Or do not believe in a God.
All right.
Yeah.
Then...
So you can be agnostic and not atheist. You can be atheist and not agnostic. You can be both or neither.
It seems like
okay. I'm gonna have to redo the math.
Well, if you think about it, like I personally am both agnostic and atheist because I think that there is no God, and I think if there was, you could not know whether there was or not, because I don't think that there's any way to verify whether there is or not.
But God could know then himself.
That's why I think that doesn't work. God is an atheist because God would know whether he's God or not. And so if he...
I think that's the only way he would know is if he was...
I watched a movie called The Nines. You heard of that movie, The Nines?
I have heard of it, but I've never...
It's actually really...
I have seen that.
Ryan Reynolds?
Yes, we have.
And he's...
Teresa McCartney is in it.
Yes.
Yeah. It is actually... I was the whole movie thinking, wow, where's it going? How's it going to end up?
Right.
And it ends up almost like God is like a Sim Cityist. He makes this world... Or a god, they call them the nines. The gods are the nines, and humans are sevens, and eights are koalas. Because they're telepathic.
Okay.
I was like,
weird.
It's a trippy movie. I watched the whole thing. I watched it on Crackle.
Wow.
Crackle. I've never
Crackle is a new.
Crackle.
Crackle is kind of like a little bit like Hulu.
Oh, okay.
But you gotta suffer through commercial breaks and stuff.
Oh,
but,
really?
Yeah.
I'll check it out. I love stuff like that.
Military's always been kind of secretly engaged into the whole telepathic sort of what's that? Remote viewing and kind of
Yeah.
astrological projection sort of stuff.
It's like that terrible movie. Have you seen Men Who Stare at Goats?
Yeah.
Oh, I liked it.
Really?
Well, just for the
interesting
style of it and the character, not for the plot or any
Right.
kind of.
Well, an interesting subject.
Yeah.
Great actors.
Yeah.
I fell asleep like 25 minutes into it.
yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, nothing is happening. It was so boring.
Right.
But the
I've
idea
tried
of it is
to watch
cool.
that movie like probably 5 times, just because I think if I make it past that point where you fall asleep, it'll be better.
Yeah.
But I never make it past that point.
Yeah, granted,
That's too bad.
I liked it for its boring sort of-ness, though. It was kind of neat. I don't know. It's just
No,
a neat sort of
there are some movies that I feel
Life
that way
Aquatic
about.
was boring
Yes.
as heck.
I fell asleep in
but
Life Aquatic
I love
too.
just the look and the style and what, it's like listening to a
And the
song.
actors.
It's objectively a good movie,
Yeah.
but I
More
had
like a music video almost.
Yeah, that's true.
You're not really trying to say anything or be
Yeah.
that exciting. Well, I guess music videos can be that way. But,
Yeah. Well, I had a film professor who would say that if a movie gets boring, you should think about how it's trying to intellectually engage you, which I think is giving some movies more credit than they're due. But his thought was that as a U.S. like Hollywood-based film industry, we value emotionality in movies, and movies are engaging emotionally, and that's why like action movies, like they'll skip on the plot because they're trying to get you excited and scared, and so they're trying to build an emotional reaction. But some other movies, a lot of European movies, for example, are expressing ideas and aren't as concerned with the emotions, and so sometimes you miss good movies because you're like, well, I don't care what happens because I'm not like emotionally connected to people. But then you're falling into that like American mentality of like I have to have emotion in order to appreciate something. You know what I mean? So it's a little interesting how that works because then it's like, well, if you don't have an emotional connection to something, then like to me, I'm like, well then, how do you know whether it's good or not? Like if it's intended to produce. Well, if like some movies are intended to produce a lot of thought, and I'm trying to think of a good example of a movie that's not very emotional but is thought-provoking, and I'm totally, because all the movies I think of that are really thought-provoking are also really emotional. Like I Heart Huckabees, I think makes me think about philosophy in a weird way, but I laugh my ass off through that movie. Like it's very authentically funny.
Yeah, well, I mean,
so
even,
it's both
even
intellectual
Jesus
and
spoke
funny.
in parables. There was a story there. There was something to follow.
A context.
He didn't I mean, I guess he said a lot of things too, to keep, not to put it in a religious context, but often a story can.
It is church day.
It's like, a story tries to tell more than what it just tells.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's like there's something bigger going on if you want to kind of peel the onion back, I guess, if you will. So.
Well, and do you guys watch TED Talks or listen to
love
TED
them.
Talks?
Do the director though, otherwise you just get hammered with
What?
them. If you
Say that again?
I'm sorry, I guess I jumped in.
Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking
The
about.
TED Talks you usually view on YouTube, I would assume, right?
I've seen them on. They
there's
have
Vimeo.
produced ones on Netflix.
Sure. Okay.
So it depends, but
Right.
a lot of
I
them
guess-
are on YouTube.
Right. If you're going to watch them on YouTube, only subscribe to TED Talks Director. Otherwise, you get every single TED Talk that's out there. You can get 100 things added to your subscription list.
Oh,
at a
jeez.
time. And it's just
Speaking
like
of TED Talk,
whoa.
who's your favorite person to watch on TED Talks?
I have no idea.
There's different people all the time. They have communities where it's just people in that, like, we have a friend that was asked to do TED Talks. He's really into like Toastmasters and those kinds of things. If you're just going to talk, I mean, there's a lot of people who do it regularly, but
there's regional TED Talks and there's the TED Conference, which tends to be more vetted. Like I've heard some regional TED Talks that give total pseudoscience and present something as verified that's complete nonsense. So you kind of have to be scientific about what information you're taking from them. But like my point about the TED Talks was that they often over-emotionalize things because they have this audience that's the general public, and so they'll be presenting like something about, like I watched this really great one about this really great one about the benefits globally of using insects as a protein source. And they were talking about how like a lot of countries do use insects as protein, but with population growth and cattle, land use, and they had all this data, and it was really great. And I'm like, this is a really good idea and really interesting science. But then they were like, they boiled it down to this like, oh, you know, like life can be as small as a bug. And they were just so over emotionalizing it, and I was like, ugh. Yeah. This is good science. It's okay to just present the science, but because the audience is so big now, I mean, TED Talks used to just be for other scientists. Like it used to be this like meeting of the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen where they were like, tell me about your invention. Did you like me putting on my monocle? That's my rich person hands. I don't know. The audience can't see how I'm gesturing, but you know what I mean.
You need a cigar.
I know,
a cigar,
sip some tea,
and the cane.
But now it's like they're so mass-produced and put out for everyone that the people who are doing them are presenting it as though they're presenting it to the general public, So I think it's just, I don't know, but that's one of those things where it's like over-emotionalizing stuff where I'm like, do we really need to have like some kind of like personal story in this presentation of a cool like innovation in science? Maybe not.
I think because they think that if you won't connect to it if you don't have an emotion like I feel, I don't know, I believe it because now it's.
And then to me, TED Talks become chicken soup for the soul.
Right.
They really do.
Yeah.
Some of the ones I watch, I'm like, this is just a person telling their sad story. And I like it because I like sad stories. Like, I like people speaking like, this is my experience in life. But then to me, it's not really a TED Talk anymore.
Right.
But you were going to say, Scott, which ones?
Oh, Zay Frank is somebody I really like who's on
I think you've mentioned him before.
I've sent links to you guys to Zay Frank. He's kind of bizarre.
Okay.
And he does. I just like the way he does his art. He's a very kind of very thought-provoking
What's the point of the talks? Like, what field is it in? Is what I'm trying to ask.
His is like in more like an idea type of it, just like using your ideas to basically instead of.
I'm sorry, I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at something I'm about to say. Go ahead. I think I'm funny before I even say things.
yeah, I do the same thing.
No, I was watching. Do you guys watch Stephen Colbert? On a regular basis?
Not regular. I do watch him.
Stephen Colbert? It might have.
The Colbert Report.
It was the Colbert Report.
Yeah.
I watch it like every single day, and he just had on the guy who invented Reddit, like the guy, one of the co-creators of Reddit.
Reddit, right.
And he's doing this new like motivational speaking thing, and so Colbert's like, cool, like kind of talking to him about his stuff, and he's like, give us like just your pitch of what you have, because he's like, I'm saying to college students the things I wish college students, like I wish they would have said to me as a college student. And he was like, what is it? Like, give us the boiled down pitch of what you wish would have been said to you. And the guy was like, it's just, you gotta take the things and if you use them right, you can be awesome. And I was like, that is what you...
When you're playing poker, if you play the cards right, you just win a bunch of money.
Oh my gosh, I was like, what a douchebag. Like, no, I'm serious. Like, what is this like message of like, you can just be awesome? I'm like, that is not a motivational message. I'm sorry. It's totally just do it. I'm like, well, if just doing it is.
It's
like
very empty calorie feeling.
Oh,
it's very just like sugar watery.
Right.
Totally.
Yeah,
he's like, if you can. Go ahead.
Well, growing up, I took art a lot in high school and stuff, and there'd be just these open. You need to have good composition. You need to have good contrast. Just these empty terms that really had no.
Totally.
Where I think a story, actually getting back to what a story can tell you a lot more things than just hey, be good at this or do good that, and it's like. Totally.
Well, and the creator of Reddit, he had a perfect moment, which is that nothing like that existed, and he saw
an opportunity coming together in the same moment.
Right.
And so now he's looking at the context of other people. He's like, you should find that thing.
No, because I think there's way more talent than opportunity.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, there's a shortage of opportunity, plethora of talent.
Oh,
So,
totally.
yeah, there's not a whole lot of low-hanging fruit.
Well,
There's just
Well, there is if you're looking, because I assume that the creator of Reddit was an early adopter of web stuff and was looking ahead, and it was low-hanging fruit when Reddit started.
Right.
But then everyone else is like, oh,
Sure.
that's really great and works. So now it's no longer low-hanging fruit. It's like podcasting, that if we would have started this podcast 6 years ago or 8 years ago,
right.
it was low-hanging fruit. Now
Yeah.
there's like millions of them, and people love it. And
It's
Right.
still
It's
it's still in
But
its
there's a
infancy,
critical
though,
mass,
too.
though, at a
Yeah.
point to get into something
Right.
where it's like almost like a pyramid scheme, if you will.
Mhm.
It's like the first few people get the most, and then it just dilutes out to
Mhm.
where
I guess
people
you're right.
involved in
The podcasting, how you can tell it's reaching kind of like its maximum saturation.
And maybe not.
Radio stations are actually joining in on
Yeah.
it too, because they know that they're dying.
there's an audience that they're missing
also,
out on. Yeah.
They're also dying away.
Right.
All the formats on radio are usually like a jack format.
Well, because
now.
this is an easier, accessible format that requires less investment in infrastructure, and so
Yeah.
of course you would move to a podcast. But that's why, like at the beginning of podcasting, people were leaving mainstream media
it's
and
just-
going into podcasting, and now podcasting is being
More
absorbed by mainstream
Right.
media.
It's the same radio mentality, though.
Yeah.
Just because, when radio, there's super low opportunity to get into radio,
Mhm.
but big, need for that medium.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, the mechanisms to receive that were crude, and you needed thousands of dollars to produce something that
Yeah.
could broadcast to people. Whereas now, you still need equipment and whatnot,
Uh-huh.
but the
investment
opportunity
capital is very low.
to get into it
Yeah.
is a lot more accessible.
Totally.
So-
Well, and what needs to happen? I mean, similar things are happening with like TV online, where it used like YouTube used to be, and I don't know. Now I'm saying this. I don't know if this is necessarily true or not. But putting video online back in the day, meaning like 2002, 2003.
Right.
Look, like small filmmakers were like, "Oh my gosh, this is my chance," and then everyone was putting their videos online and like
their
getting,
cats.
yeah, totally, getting stuff like TV show deals based off of success online,
Right.
and then going into mainstream. And now, places like Hulu, Netflix,
Facebook.
Amazon is creating original content to
Right.
straight go to the web.
Sure, yeah.
And so in some ways, like the grassroots excitement of the internet gets subverted by people who already have all this capital and audience. And then like, I don't know if it's, I'm just wondering, like, does it really help like small individual artists, or does it just seem like it does at first, and then really what it is just a feeder for the overall existing establishment
It
of
kind of.
entertainment?
I think a
I
little
just
bit of
wonder
both, because
Yeah.
in the early days you can still have the pioneers that used YouTube.
Yeah.
And they actually there's one I watch called Equals 3, and all he does is that he just reviews other people's videos, and he's been doing it since his college days.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's making a living of it. It's been,
that's
But
cool.
he was like
That
early
is-
on, he recognized YouTube for what it was.
Mhm.
But now you have everybody it's a big business now.
Radio
Yeah.
does the same thing with music, though. They're like,
For
hey,
sure.
here's this cool music that
Right.
we'll put together for you. We're going to kind of feed you what we've found,
Mhm.
not what we've created. Whereas
Mhm.
there's a lot of podcasts that do that as well. Like there's several that I subscribe to that they'll pick a new segment, or they'll pick something of this or that, and they'll just talk about it, or they'll be like Vsauce. Have you heard of that?
Mm-mm.
Where there's Vsauce 2, which he just says, here's all the cool things on the web, and
I
just
think-
slams them in. He
Oh,
has
that's
like
cool.
5 or
I've
6
heard
really
that.
neat things on the web that you should be checking
Right
out.
on.
And so that's why I tuned into him, because he's got some neat things to show you.
Totally.
So there's like this, what's cool now? Where do I go? And same thing with like movie reviewers. I'm sure you follow
Yeah.
certain people that review movies because they kind of done the footwork, if you will, to find the cool
Right.
things.
That's true.
Which there's a definite need for that, because I don't want to do all the footwork to figure all this out. Bring it to me so I can just absorb it. you know?
Right. Totally.
And so it's sort of like that. I don't know, but podcasts can also just be like hopefully what we're doing, where we're just, it's almost like a reality TV, but we're just a reality conversation, where it's we're hopefully, stimulating
Thought.
Just different ideas.
Yeah,
Like,
totally.
We use our
Well,
words.
I hope so. It's one of those things where it's like the same problems exist whether it's easy to get your content out to people or not. Do you know what I mean? Where it's
Right.
like, well,
Sure.
now it's easy for us to put this together and we come and record every week and we put it online and we make it available and we push it out to
Ain't
people.
technology great?
I know, and it's easy because if we were, if this was a cassette tape that we had recorded like I
Right.
did with my
Sure,
friends
sure.
in the
Oh, yeah,
basement and we were passing it out at school, that would be really hard.
Right.
But this is really easy, but because it's also easy for the consumer of entertainment to get thousands of things, then the same problem exists, that it's then hard to go like, you out of all these millions of people would like this one thing that we produce, but how do you find us and how do we find you unless you're my friend or my mom?
That's how they.
Osmosis.
Yeah.
You have to add
I
water.
think that's just ideas just sort of spread and mold and grow. And
Yeah.
The weird part about it is once these are out there, it's like we could be totally be done with it, and then somebody trips across it and it just takes off. Oh, you got to check these out, and it becomes
There are
viral.
a few podcasts that I listen to that are sort
I
of
think
like that. They stopped before I even found it, and then I found it, and I was like, oh, there's only like 40 episodes of this.
Yeah. You can't get caught up in the reaction of what you're doing. You just got to do it. You
Right.
gotta enjoy the process of it. Enjoy painting. Enjoy playing music. Enjoy making music. Enjoy dancing. Enjoy whatever it is.
Exactly.
And just do it
and just do
regardless.
it. Yeah,
Yeah, totally.
Enjoy the
people
journey,
are gonna
not the
like it.
destination.
People are gonna say you're gonna fail, or this guy can do it better,
Right.
or you should do that. But I think during the process, though, one should want to put excellence in it too.
Right.
So it's
Totally.
like that. I think is where the art comes in, is the excellence of what it is that you're doing, and it's up to you to, or you're your own judge with that too, because no one else can really say.
Right, because if you start listening to people too much, then
I mean,
yeah.
the point is just do it. Like I guess that guy was saying, just do it.
Just
yeah,
do
we're
it.
back to.
Oh
the
my
Reddit
gosh,
dude.
you guys! The guy who created Reddit
just gotta,
is a genius.
gotta play the cards you're dealt.
I know.
and-
If you connect
Get
with
the
your
low-hanging fruit.
awesomeness,
There
then
you
you
go.
What other
will
cliche
be
for me?
awesome.
Yeah.
That is our moral, you guys.
You know what? I need to share something before we
What?
get too further. This kind of, I had a dream that for some reason we were on PBS.
On PBS?
PBS, and
The
we had
TV
the TV
station?
show plus
Okay.
slash, and it was also the
PBS does
NPR,
broadcasting too?
and it was a Christmas party. It was a Christmas party at PBS, and we got invited to be there for some reason. I don't know
Weird.
why. And
Wow.
it was actually, we had the guy that painted. What's his name? Ross.
Bob Ross?
Bob Ross, and he
Oh,
was
man,
he
he's the
was
best.
actually there painting, and he's talking. Let's put a happy
Bob
little
Ross
tree.
is God.
Yeah, there you-
Here's your shirt. Sorry.
And we had there's the NPR guys, and we had what's his name? Deepak Chopra was there.
Oh, yeah.
It was
He
just
was
like
on the Pete Holmes show.
Yeah,
Are
it
you
was,
serious?
Yes.
it was one of those dreams I woke up
Interesting.
and like, wow, that was extremely weird.
That
I
is
was
weird.
like, but it felt like real. It felt like it was reality, but it was so surreal.
How funny.
And we had the ever heard of Click and Clack, the Clackup Brothers? They were
On,
there.
yeah,
They're from
NPR,
I think they're from Boston or something like that.
Yeah, they're from Boston.
Yeah, and
they're
they talk
car
about
talk.
car talk.
Oh,
They're
yeah, okay.
hilarious. And
I
they
know
were
the
there,
show,
and
sure,
they
sure.
looked exactly
They've been
the
on
way
the air for like 40 years.
Yeah, they looked exactly the way they sound.
Nice. I
Fat
love
and
those
old.
guys.
Yeah.
I used to. We had. I don't think you lived at home at the time because I was in older high school, and for some reason, I think
You
we
were
made.
in older high
I know.
school.
I don't know how to talk today. I was like a junior in high school.
There we go.
Yeah, there. And for some reason, we had a radio that just tuned into NPR.
Oh,
And I
nice.
think there was some kind of donation made, or which is weird. I don't know who donated to NPR, but it was like an NPR radio. It looked all old timey, and you just turned the knob and it tuned right into the NPR station.
I remember those when when they would do their fundraiser drives,
Yeah.
and you'd get that. That would
Right.
be you're purchasing.
I remember
Yeah.
Mom
Your
gave a
donation.
lot to PBS.
Yeah, it was probably that kind of a thing. So like, it was right next to the computer, and so Sunday mornings I would go down to the computer and just turn on the radio and then sit and like play games or goof around on whatever, and it would go in the morning. It was Sunday morning jazz, then car talk, then Prairie Home Companion.
Oh, I love.
I love it.
Yeah.
And then church would be right after that. And so it was like I'd listen to those 3 shows, and then I'd go get ready for church. And it was like my Sunday ritual for maybe like 2 straight years of just like, turn on the radio, play like for like 3 hours, because I'd just catch maybe the last 20 minutes of Sunday morning jazz. And it was like the perfect radio block for me.
It sounds good. I like it.
But
Is that
I
why you
wouldn't.
like Candy Crunch so much? Because of the
Candy
jazz?
Crunch. It's
Or
Candy Crush.
Candy Crush.
I
don't
do
know.
like
don't play
Candy
it.
Crush a lot.
Are you still playing it?
Yeah, I'm on like a level 152. I'm
I-
awesome. 180. Alex is on level 182.
That-
I had to restart when I got a new phone because I didn't connect to Facebook, and so the game lived physically on my phone, and I was like, no.
No.
It is crack, but I'm really good at it.
I'm always getting requests from Sega's Pet Saga or something,
yeah.
Pet Rescue.
I haven't done that one.
I made the mistake of logging in on Facebook because I
See, I don't do it because I don't want Facebook to be gunked up with all those requests. I just
annoying.
don't connect it with Facebook.
I
But
made the mistake and I can't get it off my Facebook.
I'm sorry, you can. I can show you how. Because I did connect at one point, and then I was like, overload, disconnect.
Yeah.
Have I
But-
mentioned I'm not on Facebook?
You have a little. Wait, have you on the show?
I don't know.
Rick is not on Facebook. I feel like
It's
maybe
been,
you did
it's
early
been
on.
like 2.5 years now.
Yeah.
You
you're
do.
not
Anyway,
listening
so
that
I
much.
can't identify.
You
with
have a
Facebook.
Facebook page still, or did you deleted it?
No, he deleted
Did
it.
do I come up with the
No,
Facebook?
I don't think
No.
so.
I have a nephew.
Yeah,
Oh, maybe that's who friends.
Ricky Entrop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but he doesn't.
I also have an uncle too. But I think he's
Oh.
not.
Yeah.
Ooh.
His
Rick.
name is Rick Entrop, and he
What?
lives up
Yeah, kind of on the lake, doesn't he?
Huh.
he's living, what's the island, not Whidbey Island, but
Camino?
Camino.
does he live in Camino Island?
I
His
believe-
name is.
could be. No,
I don't know people's
that's Rob.
names and yeah.
No, there's
Wasn't
a
it Uncle
Rick.
Bob?
What about Bob?
Yeah.
You know,
Oh.
our family's so big. Sometimes I lose track of who's who.
Did it?
But I remember the Camino house. I
Yeah.
thought that was
Yeah.
Rob.
Speaking of family,
That was the oldest brother.
No, it's the youngest that still lives with. or
Did I share
lives
with
at-
you
No, they have
about
2 houses.
we would rent a hall for Christmas, and we have a family that's fairly huge, and we have an aunt that always bring like she has a wrecking yard out in towards
She has a wrecking yard.
Wrecking
What
yard.
does that mean?
she junk cars
okay.
wrecking. She
Oh,
does
okay.
scrap cars, and it's
Crazy.
it's an existence that nobody should ever have. But she would always bring people that were her friends. Nobody in our family knew them until she would bring them to holidays. Who does that? My aunt does that, and we actually had a homeless person walk through
Awesome.
our Christmas party. Thought, oh, my Aunt Lydia brought this person, and no, this guy just loaded up his plate and returned to the woods.
Awesome.
And I was like, yeah, that was a little scary, but I'm like, oh, well, he was hungry, so
Yeah,
we let him
totally.
eat.
How funny, but you didn't notice because you just assumed it was one of
I
her
noticed
friends.
it. I was like, well, this is the first time. I was like, hey, who are you? You know, I've never met you before. Who brought you? He goes, I thought this was a church thing or something like that. I was like, no, this is the Clark family Christmas, and go ahead, load up, eat up.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
If our whole
Nice.
family would actually be in the same
So we'll
room at the
crash their
same
family
time,
reunion.
we would have a hall full of people. But you know, we're all kind of spread out.
Only thing we were missing from a family function are the cameras and the lights and this Jerry Springer. That's the only thing that we're
awesome.
missing because it usually gets about like that. It does.
Right
That's
on.
pretty up there.
So I wanted to talk about a show that I started watching, which you guys don't watch TV, so you probably haven't heard of it, but it's called Misfits.
Okay.
Have you even heard of this? No. I watch it on Hulu, and it's a Hulu original series, but it's shot in the UK, and I actually wonder if I think Hulu might be a BBC offshoot because there's so many BBC shows on Hulu.
Right.
But anyway, it's called Misfits, and it's really, really, really good. Essentially, it's like kind of a hero's premise where people suddenly start having superpowers. Only it's as though Heroes was written with like way more skilled writers, because it's really funny and really irreverent, and people have bizarre, like really strange powers that you're like one guy controls milk. And everyone's making fun of him because they're like, that's the worst power, because like he has like jugs of milk and he can make milk like swirl in the air, and he can make cheese change shape with his mind. And everyone's like, that is the worst superpower ever. But then he finds really interesting ways to use it that you don't usually get to hear. I think now might be our moment.
Well, I don't know. So we got piped sermons in the background.
That is that voice you hear.
Right. But have you watched the Pete Holmes show?
No, not yet.
He does a bit about the X-Men,
Yes.
where he's like, your power, like he talks to the winged man guy. He's like, you fly. That's all you do.
Oh, does he do that with more people?
Yeah, he does just about everybody. And
He did it
it's,
with
I saw the clip online
They're
with
hilarious.
Wolverine where he's like,
Yeah.
you flail.
Right, yeah.
He
Congratulations.
did Cyclops too, but I'm not
really?
sure.
Yeah,
And
he
then I
does-
saw the clip where it's Batman and Superman.
Oh, yeah, those
and
are good, too.
Commissioner
Yeah.
Gordon on the roof. Oh,
That's
my
what I like
gosh.
about his show is he does, it's like a third skits, a third interview, and then a third his come up with stand up, you know. 'Cause
Right
he had Deepak Chopra on there
So weird.
actually too, yeah.
I don't understand Deepak Chopra in the sense of like he's sort of like Maya Angelou to me, where Maya Angelou both writes books that are very deep about.
Who's Maya Angelou?
She's a very famous poet and writer.
Oh,
She
okay.
wrote
Yeah.
I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. She was a poet laureate of the U.S. She's this like
Okay.
civil rights woman, but then she does
Okay.
Target commercials, and you go,
Right.
really? You just wrote a book about oppression, and now you're doing
Yeah.
Target commercials.
Right.
And like Deepak Chopra has all these philosophical things, but then like he does a cameo on The Love Guru, and I'm like, what? Which could make him awesome, and just like really like not taking himself very seriously, which in that way would make him really cool, or he could just be like I think Maya Angelou is just a giant sellout.
The movie
Like-
The Love Guru is Keegan's favorite movie and we probably watched. He wore a hole in the DVD.
Weird. What a
He
weird
loved
movie for him to
loved that movie.
It was his cutting edge.
Yeah.
Cutting Edge is a good movie.
I've never seen it.
You gotta do Panchenko. It's good.
Yeah.
You should watch it. It's
Yeah.
90s-tastic.
90s.
You should watch it with Peg so she can recite every line.
I'll be like,
as
this
it
part's
goes.
good, you gotta wait.
Hey, you go,
for it.
wait.
Yeah.
Wait for this part. Oh, you gotta watch this part. This part's really good.
Here's where it falls.
Totally.
Okay, see.
Okay, so I'm gonna take a break really quick. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back.
Yeah.
We are now at Tullys in Bellevue, right around the corner, which this place is called Little John's next door, is that right?
Yeah. Usually it's a pretty good restaurant.
It looked like it was under renovation.
Right, there's
Yeah.
like fire damage or something.
Oh,
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
Oh, that's too bad. When I first started my job, there was a day where I was following around the other clinician in my program, and she has some locations here in Bellevue, and we went there for lunch and had it is like old school, like the kind of waitress that
total
like
diner.
puts the pencil behind her ear,
Yes.
and like it's like, what do you want? And like she has the menu memorized because she's worked there for 30 years.
Yeah.
So like a really
Oh,
nice
it's-
greasy spoon.
Oh, total greasy
cool.
spoon. And I
Nice.
had
Yeah.
the most delicious Monte Cristo that was just like oil and yum.
It's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
We did their T-shirts
Oh, really?
at Seattle Screen Printing that worked there. So.
Right on.
Cool, man.
I like those old school diner places. Anyway, so we moved from the church lobby to the Tullys because I was getting the stink eye from an old lady who was trying to listen to the sermon. And instead of getting in a fight with an old lady, I decided we would
She was
just
very, she
move.
was.
Nobody else could see her
Well, we
because
warned
I
you
was.
too, so.
That's true. But
Yeah.
she was straight up like, if she could have set me on fire with her eyes, she would have
You know,
done
that's
that.
so weird. I just there's judgment coming from a religious person just doesn't.
Yeah,
isn't-
well, you'll find that a lot, I think, in the
Well,
religious arena.
I think
I've found.
yes.
Hypocrisy runs abound, I think,
Yes.
but I don't know.
No, I would agree with that. And I think also, to be fair to her, she was trying to listen to church, and we were in her space, and so, like, I mean, if it was at a coffee shop and people were giving me the stink eye, I'd be like, dude, this is a public place, like, fight me.
Yeah.
But, like, she was a little disabled, and, like, maybe she couldn't get into the church or something, I don't know. But for whatever reason, I was like, we should just bail. But I think that
seems like more like a business than a church to me, though. But whatever.
Well, it was one of those like smooth, slick Christian groups.
The new
they
hip
really
churches.
probably are more of a business, you know, like they just they make a lot of money, and they, you know, they present it almost like a community center, you know, which, you know, is good for some people. But I find that religious people, the mentality, and this is not all religious people, that's a huge generalization, but a lot of, especially American religions, are based on an idea that there is a right way to act and a wrong way to act, and so the judgment is built into the way of thinking. That it's like you
There's
should,
absolutes.
yes, the premise of you should do blank exists in their mind, as opposed to like it would
there's
be
the 10 Commandments. I mean, how do you get more black and white than that?
Right.
You know?
And as opposed to an idea that, like, it would be
modern-
nice if
no.
people did things that were accommodating to me, but when they don't, I go, well, they can do whatever they want. They're a free person. I have no great, like ownership of right and wrong, and so I accept that their idea of how people should act, that includes doing stuff that's really obnoxious, is as valid as my way that people should act, which is maybe you don't stand in front of a door. You know how people do that?
Right.
That drives me crazy. Like, they'll just be like standing right in front of a door, like chatting it up with people, and people are trying to come in and out, and I'm like, why do you have to stand here? Like, why can't you move?
And they're a little oblivious to the fact that they're blocking the door.
And my worldview
In
says,
consideration.
yes.
I mean,
My worldview says you should always be considerate of others,
Right.
and which is why I was like, we should go, because this lady is clearly annoyed by us.
take that to the way we transport ourselves on the highway system or on the roadways. I mean, that doesn't translate at all.
No. Because you put a glass wall between you and another person, and suddenly you can flip them off, and you can call them a dick. And but if you were standing in front of that person,
there is no consideration on the roadways.
Not at all.
You know, I've had the experience of living overseas and experiencing the traffic in Thailand, and there's no consideration on how you drive on the road. But again, people aren't laying on their horns, they're not flipping. There's nobody. It's like stress. The stress isn't put into the driving experience.
That's cool.
It's. But then again, it's like I couldn't do it. I would be the one. I'd be the Euro trash. It's on their horn. Get out of my way. I'd be
if you go to Africa, though, it's the exact opposite, which is all horns all the time. I drove in a taxi cab with a guy that was just sitting there driving along, nothing happening, just beeping on the horn. Beep, 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 beep.
It's like the musical instrument.
Oh my
kind of
gosh!
thing.
And I'm sitting in the back seat going like, why are you hitting your horn? And he's like, huh? Beep, 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 beep. And I'm like, oh my gosh, stop! Like, you were just making noise.
The radio was broken. He's trying to entertain
Oh my gosh! I wish the radios were all broken there.
I actually did that to somebody.
What?
Okay, so a lot of the roads in Kirkland or northern Kirkland are 45. And so, but people go like 35 on that. And this dude was going 30 on a 45.
Did you just like beep, beep,
Yep. I just behind him just kind of started beeping along to whatever was going on the radio, and he slowed down a little bit, and he sped up. And
I was driving down Madison to get on the freeway, and these two pedestrians just walked out into traffic in a crosswalk, but at a light and against the light. And one of them was like, just put her arms in the air, was like, what are you gonna do? We're walking across the street. And so I just laid on the horn and just held my horn as she walked all the way across the street. And like, she would not even look in our direction. And I was, because she was saying like, fuck you guys, I do what I want. And I was like, cool, then I do what I want. Like, just sat with the horn on. And then I just like laughed. 'cause
At
it
a
was,
light,
like,
at a signal,
30
you're not.
seconds.
Pedestrians really only have right of way when they have a signal.
Right.
That's the rule.
Oh,
but
she knew she was in the wrong and
Man.
holding up traffic and walking out into the road. That's why she put her hands up. And I was like, cool, then I'm honking at you. Like, if you're going to be an asshole, I'm going to be an asshole. But anyway, my original idea, though, was that when you live in a world where good equals acting the way I think people should act, then it's okay to give the stink eye to strangers because they're not doing what you think they need to be doing, and God says what you think they need to be doing is right. And to me, I go, well, at least when I get annoyed with people who stand in front of the door, I know that that is just me wishing other people would act the way I wanted them to act,
Right.
but not empowered by any mystical creature to say, like, if that was truly fundamentally wrong, like, that would be a different worldview to me. And so it makes sense to me that some religious people are very judgmental. Because if you were empowered by that, then why would you not be? You know what I mean? I'm, in fact, impressed with religious people who aren't judgmental. Because I think that, like, I have a really good friend named Kat, who's Catholic, who disagrees with, well, she thinks true Catholicism doesn't disagree with these things, but a lot of, like birth control and abortion rights and things that the Catholic Church really supports, she has a different view on, but she totally 100% accepts the people in her church who disagree and the people who blame the church for those things. Like, she is so zen about, like, she thinks everybody should just think what they want to think, and that's great, but she has this very deep, devout belief in the church. To me, it doesn't make any sense.
She's like a contradiction to the Catholic. Yeah.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, she's almost,
It's impressive to me that she reconciles that in her mind, because to me, I would always have that, like, conflict,
Right.
Anyway, but what I wanted to say before we broke about Misfits, this is another reason we couldn't stay at the church, because I wanted to talk about naughty things. It is a totally dirty show. There is so much dirtiness in it, like boobies.
Oh, cool.
Upsetting sex.
Is it on HBO or something?
It's on Hulu, and so it has no, like, it's as though
you have to have a Hulu account to watch it?
Maybe. I'm not sure, because I have a Hulu account.
Right.
If you guys want my Hulu login, I will give it to you, because
that's cool.
there's no limit on the number of people who can log in.
I will be getting that.
Yeah, I'll get it to both of you guys. But it's like an HBO show. You're making a stink face. You're drinking
this is like
good?
the worst drink I think I've ever had. It's just like
Really?
water with like an apple.
Return it. Damn. Rick is drinking some kind of apple drink.
Apple cider, but it's
Caramel apple cider from Tullys.
They forgot.
It's so hot I can't get down enough to really see if it's even mixed or anything. It's just
Weird.
tastes like apple flavored hot tap water.
Ooh, let's look at it. Can I look at it?
Sure.
I just want to see. Ooh, it's really hot.
Yeah.
It's almost.
What?
Oh, sorry. Oh, that doesn't look good at all. I don't know. That looks weird to me.
I mean, I've had a lot of apple ciders.
Yeah.
It's not.
So do you want me to go say, hey, this is kind of watery?
Yeah, please,
Nice.
if you don't mind.
I'll do your dirty work.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alex.
Yeah.
Good for you for sending stuff back, though, because I never send stuff
If
back.
I wasn't in the middle
afraid.
of doing this, I would.
Yeah, totally. So it's as though an HBO show, like, it's that kind of a thing, though, where it's like nudity and really, like, the characters are so inappropriate. The premise of the show is they're community service parolees, so it's a kind of a group of crappy criminals, like really low-level criminals who suddenly have superpowers. And it's really freaking funny, like really,
So
really
like if
funny.
workaholics had superpowers?
Exactly. Yes. Exactly. And in the UK.
Oh, okay.
Totally that. It's like
So
dick
it's-
jokes and poop jokes
Okay,
and
great. They got
like
the-
it's really
They
really
got the
good.
British humor.
Yeah,
that-
and I'm like 3 seasons in. There's 5 seasons, and they're still making new episodes. And each season only has like 6 or 7 episodes.
Okay.
But each one gets funnier and crazier and more like watching it. You're just like, I can't believe this is happening right now. Like, it just gets really wild. So I highly recommend it. Yeah. Anyway, it's a really fun show.
Tune in.
Totally. Right on. And the Pete Holmes show I'm looking forward to watching. It's on Comedy Central, right?
No, it's on TBS. It's after Conan. Yeah, so it might be on Hulu.
Yeah, you should be able to pick it up on Hulu. Yeah.
I watch all his segments via YouTube. If you subscribe to him, he basically gives you his show,
Nice.
all his skits and everything. So.
Right on. I'll totally check it out.
But we have the
I
on
love
demand, and we just watch it via that. So.
Do you watch The Walking Dead? Yeah.
Yes.
So I've been catching that on YouTube. So I
on YouTube?
Yeah.
Crazy. I didn't know it
it'll
was on
What is
there.
Walking Dead?
It is
the
an
zombie
AMC
show.
original zombie. It's the end of the world. They don't call them zombies though.
No, they call them walkers.
Walkers. Heard them called. What else have they been called? DKs.
DKs? Huh,
DKs.
okay.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
They use every term except for
Except
zombies.
for zombies.
And so
I think-
I wonder if it's copywritten then, zombies.
No, for sure it's not.
I wonder why they don't use zombies.
I think it's just the world they live in, you
Right.
know? Because it's based on graphic novels.
Right.
Yeah. Which
Yeah.
actually I've heard the graphic novel has a significantly different plot than the TV
It
show.
has similar characters. Well, the characters
the
are
characters
the
are the same.
but some of the story
People-
arcs are different.
People die in the show who don't die in the comic, and die in the comic who don't die in the show.
Right.
Huh.
And
okay.
so, like, it's enough different that if you watch the show, you should still read the book, or if you've read the book, you'll still.
Yeah,
like, it's
Keegan's a big
different
fan.
things happen.
I think it's Image. Image does the comic
Oh
book.
yeah, I don't know.
Image line?
It's either Image or Dark Horse. It's a black and white graphic novel. It's a series.
Yeah, I've heard it's really, really good.
Yeah, they're
Cool. So, Rick, you said that you wanted to talk about my boxing story last week. Was
Yeah.
this the punching people in the face story?
Yeah. Not. Well, I mean, I guess all I would have said is
Well, let's catch.
let's fight someone that's trying to hit you in the face too, and see how you. It's like you get hit in the face, and then see how much you want to hit them in the face.
Right.
So, because it's one thing to just sit someone. Okay, this is a human punching bag now.
Right.
That's different. That's this guy is not defending himself. He's not trying to attack me.
Yeah.
This is not an equal contest.
Uh-huh.
Those are all the things that were going through your head.
Yeah.
Now get in there with someone about your skill
Uh-huh.
level, which is what they should have did, and not here's how you box if you've done it for 10 years
Yeah.
or anything like that.
Right.
Get you in somewhere where someone's trying to do exactly what you're doing. Then it'd be a whole different thing.
Maybe.
And then, because then you get dinged in the head. Oh, that's what that feels like. Because you just don't know what it feels like. So that's why
I
you're
have actually
skeptical.
been hit in the head by my coach when we were doing defensive skills one day. He swung at me and I was supposed to duck. Like it was an all ducking thing.
Like a bob
And
and
he
weave.
clocked me in the side of the head.
Well-
And like my reaction was just to stand there and go like, why did you hit me? Like it was so disorienting. But I think if I felt like they could legitimately hurt me, I'd probably be more
Sure,
likely
yeah.
to be able to hit them back.
Because I mean, there you're just talking about like a feat of like it's kind of like wrestling but with blows, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not trying to kick him in the nuts and
Right.
bite through their neck with your teeth.
Yeah.
You're just trying to knock them on the ground. So there's still a level of limit to what you can exert to win this thing. You're not fighting for your life.
Right.
You're trying to out clever that guy or whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Is there just a different sort of challenge there? I guess because it is sort of a battle. If you count any contest between two opponents a battle, like chess
Yeah.
or racquetball or whatever, you're trying to score. So
Totally.
there's a different mentality of hitting someone for a result rather than trying to hurt them.
Right,
You know?
that's true. Because Olympic style boxing isn't necessarily about the knockout.
Points.
It's about points and getting hits
Right.
in different ways.
Yeah, and wrestling isn't always about the pin.
Right, totally.
It's about getting points.
But I've since gone to another boxing private and also got in the ring and took some swings and just told him, I was like, I will hit at you, I'm not going to hit you. And this guy didn't even have headgear on. This guy was crazy. Like, my regular coach is back next week, which I'm a little bit glad about. But, because they do stuff where I'm like, I don't know about this. But this
Right.
coach that I worked out with actually gave me the best footwork, not massage, oh my gosh, my brain didn't work. Footwork workout of my entire life where I almost couldn't walk home. Like, we were doing like he did like 6 or 7 different, like, okay, now you're going to be punching at, like, I'm going to hold the mitts, you're going to punch at me while you're dancing sideways across a rope on the ground. And then you're going to dance back. And then he had me doing it forward and backwards. And then he called out things like left, right, left. And I was just like dancing around, and then I'm supposed to be hitting. And like my leg muscles were done. Like walking home, I was walking like a weird, like disabled person because my leg muscles were so exhausted.
Did he have you limber up first, or were you?
Well, we did a little bit. Okay. He was not so great at the.
I just want to say limber up.
Limber up.
I know.
Limber up for your privates.
So, oh my gosh. But no, he had me get in the ring and take some swings at him, and he was ducking and stuff. And there were tons and tons of times where I was like, if I was really intending on hitting him, I could hit him. Because he was like, just kind of like doing really predictable patterns. And I was like, oh, I could just like pop him when he goes back the other way. But like, couldn't do it. Like, I was just...
he's not trying to do that to you.
Right, exactly.
I think once you eliminate that from the equation, you're set. You know, you'll start pounding the snot out of it.
It's the girl
thing. You're not gonna. Oh, he hit me, and why away? You're gonna bam. That hurt.
Women are not taught that it's okay to do that.
Like, there's someone who's sitting there going, hit me.
No. Even if someone is fighting you, women are not taught to fight back. I have never been in a situation in my life where someone was attacking me and my response wasn't to like curl in a ball, laugh, or just push them away. It has never been to fight back. Like even interpersonally, women are taught, like in certain socioeconomic groups, because I think there are women who get in fist fights, clearly, and some women do get in fist fights, but in general, you are seen as like not feminine if you fight. Like, it's just not taught.
I think also too,
even in like if you're arguing with someone, women are more likely to agree to disagree.
You're also in an arena where it's like you're going in there you're learning how to box somebody or fight somebody you not actually have anger towards too.
Right. That's a really weird feeling.
You got to build up for that. That is a trained response.
Totally.
You know,
but you're taught in boxing and karate not to fight with anger.
Yeah.
Right.
If you're fighting out of anger, you're going to lose.
Well, that's the idea. But then how do you like go? Oh well, I like this person and respect this person.
Where he's doing the same things, and you're sort of on a equal playing field. You're not trying to end the battle. You're trying to succeed at it.
Right.
So,
and it's like it's a really weird feeling to me. Like, it feels wrong and bizarre. But when I was doing arm wrestling in Chicago, I did Chicago League of Lady Arm Wrestlers, and it's real arm wrestling. Yeah,
100%. This is just arm wrestling.
Yeah,
and you're not actually arm wrestling with someone. You're someone saying, "Oh, push on the arm."
Right.
And
arm wrestling was easier for me. And one time I arm wrestled this one girl who was almost evenly matched with me. Like, I beat her, but it took every ounce of strength that I had to beat her. I did. And
over the top.
No. I curled it.
Nice.
No, but I was holding the post, or wait, where's the post? Yeah, the post over here. And like screaming and pulling as hard as I could.
I'd like to go to one of those competitions. I would like
it's super fun.
Just to witness it, just to be there.
Especially the one in Chicago, because it's a fundraiser and everyone's in costume, and it's this really... But the arm wrestling is real for the most part. Like, you do 3 rounds, and the first one you kind of are just testing to see if the person's strong enough or not. And the second one you're kind of still testing, and then the third one you're really trying to go for it. But it's like real, the winner wins. And that, though, I was like, I could totally like fight as hard as I could with her, because I thought that we were evenly matched. There were other people that I could have taken a lot easier, but because I was like, no, this person is not as strong as I am, I still beat them, but I didn't like go for it. You know what I mean?
Arm wrestling is 100% mental, as is any combat sort of thing.
For sure.
Yeah, it's definitely mind over matter.
Yeah. Which actually, that competition, I lost the final one because I was too exhausted, and I learned about, because the tournament style, it's more about endurance than anything else, because the last person I arm wrestled wasn't as strong as the second to last person. But because the second to last person was so strong and it took so much to beat her, my arm was just like bleh. Like I almost couldn't even move it.
Arm.
Yeah, and as I was arm wrestling her, I was like, oh, I can totally beat you. And I'm like, just not right now.
Can you elect to do the other arm?
No.
Is it always just the right?
In that
So
competition it was.
you only arm wrestle right-handed arm wrestlers?
I guess. I never thought about it. It was all right-handed, though. I don't know if I could arm wrestle left-handed.
I think it'd be better.
I usually do better
I'm
left-handed.
left-handed.
I'm left-handed, so that's why I have to.
I'm sure if you wanted to, you probably could, but that one is more about a show and raising money than it is about regulations.
Yeah,
so there's not a lot of rules, but the arm wrestling then is like a real arm wrestling thing. But it's super fun, and now it's a giant event. Like when I was doing it, it was small. There were maybe like 8 arm wrestlers. This last time they did it in a gymnasium because like there were just too many people, and there was like brackets and stuff.
Okay, yeah.
And so there wasn't just one, like everybody watching one thing. It's actually like becoming this giant event.
There's a guy that just started at UPS is from Chicago.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Nice.
see if he wants to come on the podcast and see if you guys have anything in common.
Totally, we can talk about Chicago.
Yeah.
I love Chicago. I would talk about that all day.
I've been watching a few movies where Chicago was the back. It was the where the setting.
There's so many movies set in Chicago.
It's a really nice looking city.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and a lot of people say that people are really friendly there too.
Well, it's right on the lake too, right? So it's sort of like got a port-ish.
Yeah, totally. It feels like an ocean because you can't see the other side.
Yeah.
It feels like a coastline.
And then certain times, isn't it like the coldest time of year you can surf?
Oh, really? I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't remember. I remember
possible.
somewhere around in that area you could actually surf, but it's during the winter time.
Weird. Ooh, that's cool. I don't
Somebody
know.
Google it and let us know.
Well, actually, speaking of Googling surfing videos, was it one off of Portugal? I don't know, but it was like the biggest wave ever surfed.
Chasing Mavericks.
Uh,
Is that it?
Well,
I don't know.
what had happened, and it was on a morning talk show, and the guy was trying to save a woman, but happened to catch the wave, and so he was able to take the wave, and it was big ass wave.
So he was out on the surfboard trying to rescue the woman?
I believe
and then,
so. I believe so.
That's wild.
So,
Yeah, but it
and
was
he's
off
like,
the coast of Portugal.
yeah,
Crazy.
Sure, so.
yes.
Ooh, I'm going to
You
check
are
that
right.
out.
Yeah, so big huge wave and Portugal surfer probably will get you
Check
there.
it out. It's pretty.
We actually
freaking
just
awesome.
got a couple movies from the library about surfing. One's called Soul Surfer, and the other one's
Endless
Chasing
Summer?
Mavericks.
I've seen
Have you seen Endless
Soul
Summer?
Surfer. Endless Summer's great.
Oh, that's like
There's like
70s surfing.
3 of them,
Yeah.
isn't there?
Yeah. There's
Really good.
Yeah.
Is it?
Beautiful footage.
They go all around Australia.
Yeah.
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 It's awesome.
Really, really good.
The first surfing movie I ever saw was The North Shore. You ever see that one?
The North Shore? No.
It was.
Is it
it's
cheesy?
got-
The look on your face is like.
Oh, you know what? It was really cool when I watched it because it's this guy from like Montana who basically was in a surfing competition at the local wave pool.
Oh,
And then
nice.
he wins this thing, and so he thinks he's a surfer, and he goes to Hawaii to the North Shore.
Crazy.
And he hooks up with a shaper, he shapes.
So is there like a
Oh,
plot
yeah.
to it too?
Kinda.
thing?
He comes from like the middle of the United
Or is it
States.
more like a documentary where you're...
No, it was actually a movie. I
Oh,
think
okay.
it's based on a true story.
Okay.
And they had some of the big surfers from like the 80s. I think he's the one guy. He's still around. He's Lance Baird, I think is his name. And then the hottie Mia Peoples, I think.
Oh, Mia Peoples, yeah, totally.
She was in it. And
She was what, 90s hot?
80s
Is it 90s,
hot,
80s? Yeah,
hot,
80s.
80s hot. Or,
Totally.
And then, because I
There's
know.
there's certain women of eras where it's like, if they existed now, they would not be hot, but in their era, they were like the hottest chick ever. Like Farrah Fawcett is a good example of, in that era, Farrah Fawcett was like ridiculous, and she's still a beautiful woman. But if you transplanted her into our time, she'd be like the weird lady in the movie. You'd be like, what is up with your look and the clothes you wear are weird?
Why are your pants
certainly
up
people
like
reach a
your
prime look-wise, in their life.
Yeah,
Which is why, like, I watch movies from like the late 70s, early 80s, and I can't tell which guys are supposed to be hot because they all look ridiculous to me. And then they're like, "You're a nerd," and I'm like, "That guy's a nerd? He actually is a pretty good-looking guy." I'm like, "You're a hot dude," and I'm like, "They look the same." How do you know?
Yeah.
It's like the guy with the whitest pants is the hot guy.
I remember our sisters were always into like. It was more music for them, really, like Air Supply in Chicago. They liked all the hot guys, but also it was Rob Lowe. Who else did they get all excited
Rob
over?
Lowe was an objectively good-looking dude. Still, I love him. Oh my gosh, I love him.
Oh yeah, he's great. He's great. I love him.
I like him in
Still
Phantom.
hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was his big comeback.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was like Rob
Worried about
Lowe.
who's hot in the 80s. Ask Ramona or Sandy.
Well,
or Karen,
totally. But I'm talking like a little earlier than Brat Pack. I'm trying to think of a good Easy Rider.
Okay.
I have no idea if either of the main characters of Easy Rider are supposed to be attractive men. No clue.
Oh, are you
because
talking
they're
about the
Like
Fonda
a Reynolds
guy?
sort of like in his like when he's sort of. Well, no, that's still
Burt
80s.
Reynolds was a hot dude though, and
Easy Rider?
to me,
Burt
Peter
Reynolds.
Ford and
Peter Fonda.
Peter Fonda and Dustin. Or, oh my
Well,
gosh,
actually,
I've met him, Dennis.
Dennis
Jack
Hopper.
Nicholson kind of looked pretty good back then.
Wasn't
Jack
John Voight
Nicholson.
in that?
Oh yeah,
He,
John McClane.
John Voight was.
Oh, John Voight, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Well,
See,
Yeah.
John Voight's a good example because I think he was supposed to be a hot dude back when he did what was the movie about the male prostitutes with Dustin Hoffman?
American Gigolo?
No,
that's
it's super famous. Midnight. Midnight. It's not Midnight Run.
Midnight Cowboy.
Midnight Cowboy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ooh.
He's a male prostitute.
right.
And he's supposed to be a really good looking dude and just looks goofy as all
Yeah.
goofiness to me. But in that era, I don't know what the context of a hot dude is. And so people like that or I think Peter Fonda in Easy Rider was supposed to be an attractive man. But the whole time I'm like, is he a good looking guy?
Yeah.
Dennis Hopper's not a good looking guy.
No,
or is he?
Dennis Hopper.
Dennis Hopper
You know,
a good
I
looking
try
guy?
to think of if
Very
guys
weird.
are good looking or not, really.
You should
know,
spend some time pondering it.
I don't know. With women, it just comes natural. You know,
But
you kind of you're attracted or not.
Yeah,
Guys,
but
it's
that's
like
the
gotta
thing.
figure it out.
That's that era. Is I can't figure out what is the attraction context because now it's like
Especially
I
with
see a
just
dude.
the mustache.
Oh,
Oh,
goofy.
man.
Yeah, you know.
And they always have weird chests,
Hair.
strange move. And they're always wearing clothes that look weird. See, that's the thing is I don't find any of them authentically attractive, and so I'm trying to figure out who is presented as though they are attractive in that era.
Well, because even
And they always
Well, okay, so
Even
look at the
David
Renaissance
Hasselhoff
paintings.
was a big-
That's like beauty.
Right.
Like any painting, like the Mona Lisa was like the epitome of beauty or whatever. And you kind of look at her, okay.
kind of like the
Yeah.
Venus one too, because the
Yeah.
Venus she looks like white
So-
to me.
yeah,
So it's
kind of pear shaped,
beauty's-
pretty.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
I
but-
know, that's the thing. It's you're just kind of like, yeah, she's
Yeah.
some lady,
Yeah.
but she might have been like, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
It's just forever evolving.
Cultural, yeah.
Whatever
But
is
I-
acceptable at the
I
time.
like watching those movies. And Saturday Night Fever is another good example where I don't know which guys in that are the hot ones and which are not.
Whoever has the widest lapel. Is
the whitest pants,
Yeah.
the most
feel
feathered
that with
hair.
women though, because there's a lot of women that it's like they're attracted. Like I used to have a thing for Marianne on Gilligan's Island. She was like
Still-
She's
the
a
first,
good looking chick.
Still.
I know, but
Yeah.
that's the
But
thing.
she was
it's,
presented as the nerdy one.
Sure,
yeah.
sure, but that
or
was
the hillbilly.
Uh-huh.
I shouldn't say hillbilly, but she's kind of like
Yeah.
the country.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Girl.
With the pigtails.
Yeah.
But she was like
red
the first
checkers.
female that
Always
I ever
making
looked at and was
pies
like,
somehow.
oh, that's beautiful, or whatever.
Mhm.
Or had that
Totally.
assessment of attraction.
Mhm.
You know?
The movie star to me was I didn't particularly find her that attractive though. I went to the Marianne.
Yeah. Oh, and then it was Linda Carter.
Linda
Of
Wonder
course,
Woman, yeah.
of
She's
course.
ridiculously
She's
beautiful
still
though.
beautiful
When I look
now.
at pictures of her, I'm just like, how are you a
Yeah.
person? Like,
Yeah, like-
she's so
right.
like.
Well,
And she's half
Awesome.
Mexican.
Is she? I didn't realize
She's got
that.
some Latino blood in her.
That makes
Or
sense. It's
Latina.
like her hair is so
Latina.
dark and
She's
nice.
got the blue
She's got
eyes,
good
and
hair.
yeah, she's
her
Totally.
and Brooke Shields, I think, have got
Oh,
that
yeah.
kind of beauty where
Yeah.
Brooke Shields is a little younger, of course.
Yeah, totally. Brooke Shields is one of those that I go as a, but there's a lot of women that I go, like Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, she's good looking.
Every man I've ever asked is like super hot, and I look at her and go, I guess kind of boring faced, got great boobs, but like
it's her lips and her nose and her eyes, just the combination and the proportions.
People love her, and I feel so B- about her.
Yeah.
But other women that like, there are tons of women that are like, oh, for sure, super hot.
One thing though I feel about like in Hollywood especially, the women's staying power is so short.
Right.
It's like
women have a built-in expiration date. Yeah. See, there's a few that are like Helen Mirren, Meryl Streep, Betty White. Can you believe Betty White was like Golden Girls was like 30 years ago? That blows my mind.
She still looks the same.
She looks exactly the same.
Wasn't the old mom still alive too?
No,
it's still Betty. She was the youngest.
She was the youngest, the one that passed away. She passed away first.
I loved her. She was hilarious.
She was like, picture it, Italy, 1954.
Transcend well, for example, Meryl Streep was really, really attractive when she was younger, and then as she got older, she did age-appropriate parts, and she hung out. And there are a lot of actresses like that, but to be the like leading lady, hot person, that has an age range.
Sure. Well, just like a beauty contest or a bodybuilding contest, there's a hump that you got to go over.
Right.
But I think when women can transition well, because she took mom parts when she was in the mom age, and then took, now she's taking parts that are like the older woman. But some women, like take Goldie Hawn, for example. Goldie Hawn tried to stay in the young hot range when her age transcended, and then she didn't transcend age range very well because she was still trying to be the young hot.
And then there's Diane Cannon.
Nothing, really. That's why I think, though.
Diane
She's
Cannon,
really good.
I always thought did well.
Or whatever else she was.
Diane Cannon?
I think, no, maybe it's not Keaton.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
And she's not done anything.
No.
She's all natural.
She looks great.
Yes.
And she's got acting chops, and I think she's, in general, a beautiful woman for her age, regardless. So as an older woman, she's still an attractive older woman. So there's just, I don't know. It makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Marie Osmond is pretty hot still.
Marie Osmond is actually pretty good looking.
Awesome.
Totally.
Well, she was another one that I was always kind of, she's kind of pretty. But
okay, I'm learning what your type is.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
She's got all those teeth.
She is really pretty though. She's very like beauty pageant-y too.
Yeah.
Nice. I was trying to think of. Diane Lane is the other one who has gotten older very beautifully. But Helen Mirren.
Yes.
Check out some of her movies from the 70s. She is super hot.
Really?
Helen Mirren is the older blonde. She did Reds. She did.
Right.
She
She's
played the
British,
Queen.
right?
Yeah, she's British.
She's British.
Okay.
I've seen it.
She does. You would know her if you saw her. She does these movies in the 70s where she's like the bombshell, and it's wild. She's super hot. Where I'm like, oh my gosh, you're Helen Mirren, like crazy, because I didn't know who she was until she was an older woman.
Right.
Okay.
But like Maggie Smith is the same way. Which Maggie Smith, she's the one she's Professor McGonagall in the Harry Potter movies.
Yes.
Right. Oh yeah.
When she was
She's
young,
awesome.
in like the 50s.
Yeah.
Dang,
But you know who she reminds me of though? The leading lady in King Kong, the newer one. Who is she?
Oh, yeah, Naomi Watts.
Yeah, Naomi Watts.
Yeah, for sure.
She's pretty hot too.
Oh, totally. Oh, I love Naomi Watts. Again, star of I Heart Hucklebees, one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
She's hysterical in that movie. She's super talented.
Yeah, but she
Oh,
reminds
my goodness.
just beauty-wise, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
We're sort of on the same page.
She's in the movie The Impossible, which is about the tsunami in Indonesia.
Oh, yeah.
That is
Oh.
crazy good.
With
So
Ewan
sad.
McGregor, was he
Oh,
good in that too?
I love
amazing.
amazing. It's hard to watch because
Yeah.
it's a destruction movie, and you watch people go through horrific things. But if you can handle that, it is like one of the best movies I've seen in a super long time.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
it's
it
a survival
feels
story.
real. You saw it, didn't you?
No, I
Oh.
mean I
I
don't.
thought you'd seen it, but I can't remember.
I kind of have a hard time watching those kind of movies because it hits close to where
Yes.
we live
I
too.
think
yeah.
it even is set in Thailand.
Yeah.
I said that a really weird way. Thailand.
It's like
Thailand.
it's like chicken fried steak. Thailand.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. But
Yeah.
it is really hard to watch.
Yeah, it's,
But is like so beautiful. It's one of those where like certain parts you're like really emotional because it's so upsetting, but then like the human spirit element of it, because really it's about the
Sort of
aftermath
like
and how
Hotel Rwanda kind of.
yeah, like people helping each other and stepping up and people doing extraordinary things in really terrifying situations for people who half the time they aren't even speaking the same language. And the
Right.
Thai people just are like, oh, we help everyone, here you go.
Oh, wow.
And it's really like really emotional. Ooh, so good. Anyway,
yeah, I probably will see it. I mean, just like I'll treat it like I watched Titanic. I want to see the.
it is rough to get through those.
Yeah, I wanna see
some
that.
stuff happens that you're like, that's really sad and upsetting. But it has an optimistic ending,
Good.
is what I'll say. So
I
anyway,
have a question for Scott.
Yes, go ahead.
Why the beard?
It's cold. It's
Oh,
cold out.
Scott
I
has a beard.
Yeah, it wasn't noticeable last week, but that's when I started growing it in. So this is about a week and a half worth of growth, and I don't know if I'm gonna keep it yet. It feels like I have Velcro on my face. Yeah, it's not the first beard I've grown.
Is it? Well, I guess I was wondering if you were doing the whole November's the testicular
Yeah.
cancer
No.
awareness month or whatever.
No, that would have
Not
been
the
cool
same
though,
thing.
but no,
Yeah.
that was my ulterior motive is that I was cold.
Alright.
Yeah,
Right on.
a guy I work with, he says he's got a beard that's very much, it's maybe 2 months growth, and he said he's gonna grow what they call a yeared, basically a year
crazy.
with a year.
This is my yeared.
Is it?
Last beginning of October.
Awesome.
So about my yeared in a month.
But it's been trimmed.
Right.
Yeah, you're not supposed to
I feel
trim
like
a
if
year.
you had
Well, then I don't have a yeard.
Yeah, you gotta let it grow wild for a
That's
year.
crazy. I saw a dude last night who had like a monster crazy beard. It might have been a year. Like the kind that grows, it's like equal length on the sides and
Nice,
bottom.
nice.
It was just like, and he had like long
Looks like a-
hair.
Like got a chimney sweep
Oh, totally.
shoved down his throat.
He had long hair that was like twisted and pulled up under his cap, which I was like, oh, that's a weird way of doing long hair.
Or like
It was very
Haggard or whatever his
strange.
name is.
Who?
And who's the big guy in Harry Potter?
Oh,
Hagrid.
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 Yeah, yes.
So-
Oh,
Look
totally.
like he had a blowout kit afro on his face.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
It was pretty wild.
Another guy I work with, he's Croatian descent, second generation American, and he's bald. He's totally shaven bald, and he grows this big black beard, and he looks scary.
Yeah.
He looked Taliban.
Like a Croatian dude?
Look like Taliban. He looked Taliban. He looked.
Yeah, that's
They're
awesome.
just brown to me. I don't know. That's racist, is it? I don't know.
Maybe. Who knows? Okay, well, we've gone over time. I'm not going to get into my feelings about saying whether things
I got
are
two quick
racist or
things
not.
before
Yeah,
we
go for it.
jet, if that's cool.
For
Okay,
sure.
For one, I thought of, so going back to TED Talks way back
Yeah.
there, my favorite would be Malcolm Gladwell.
Okay.
He's been on there a couple times.
I've never seen one. I've read some of his books, but I've
Yeah.
never seen
He's a
him
pretty
on
good
TED
speaker.
Talk.
Yeah.
I saw
he
him
does-
on Colbert Report last week.
Oh, cool. Fun. Yeah. Anyway.
Anyway.
So, and then I have a follow-up T-shirt idea,
Oh,
which I've had for a while. I don't know. Okay. The wording isn't quite to where I'd like it yet, but it's something to the effect of God laughs at every fart.
Yeah.
I like that.
Right, I would. Why wouldn't he?
Totally.
Well, okay, so, I don't know. I won't go into the method behind the madness
God
with
laughs
it.
at
But,
every fart. I like that.
Okay.
I like fart jokes too. So I laugh at every fart.
and that wasn't one. I've had that for a while.
I like to hear him, but not smell him.
Yes, that is a true
Well,
statement.
Yeah,
The
the
louder
ears-
they are and the longer they are, that's more air, and they're supposed to be less stinky.
Yeah.
Supposed to
Yes,
be is
the
a good
silent-
way to phrase
silent
that because I
deadly.
ripped some that I was like, oh, that was a hot blast of broccoli, awesome and loud and big, and I was like, oh.
Those are the ones that say, "Oh, maybe I should go
Actually,
poo."
I made one of my best friends
Right. Oh,
in,
yeah,
Chicago, or
those-
in Las Vegas because of a broccoli fart. Because this is a weird story, but I'm just gonna tell it really quick. We were working on this movie, and I was one of the costume designers, and my friend Carolee and I, we were on like an outdoor shoot, and I had this little Barbie car hatchback Kia Rio. or was it? No, it wasn't the Kia Rio. What car was that? Aspire, the Ford Aspire.
Okay.
And we had the hatchback up.
You
and
aspire to get a better car.
Right. And we had the seat down, and we were laying in the back because it was really windy, and we were watching like a movie on the laptop while they were shooting.
Okay.
And like unbeknownst to me, my friend and then her friend Sean, who I didn't really know, were sneaking up to scare us. And I ripped like the biggest roast broccoli fart because I thought it was just me and Carolee, and she would get so mad at me, and I was just like, "Mark." And I thought it was so funny. I farted at the exact moment they hopped out, and then Sean just was like, and like turned and like ran away, and then I was like, who was that guy? And then I like waited, and I was like, not you, and he thought I was so funny, and then we became really good friends, and I was the best man at his wedding.
That's cool.
Because we bonded over my gross broccoli part. And I was like, I didn't mean to fart on you.
If you're gonna bond over everything,
Did that story
anything,
come
that's
up at the wedding?
something.
Oh, we told that story all the time. We're like, Sean and I are friends because I farted really loud. He walked right into it. Oh my gosh.
That's
It was
awesome.
pretty hilarious. Yeah, I felt like it was one of those moments where it was like pure humiliation. Like, oh.
And funny at the same time.
Yeah, totally. Anyway.
No harm, no foul.
Exactly. Cool. Well, thanks for listening again. Please tell a friend, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. I've been tweeting a little bit more. I didn't quite meet my goal of 100 tweets yet. It's hard to remember to tweet all the time,
You know,
but I'm trying to tweet.
Keegan
Putting
said he
forth
would
effort.
help us out there, but we'd have to pay him. I said,
Oh.
well, you can get paid when we get paid. How's that?
Yeah, no joke.
Um,
But follow us on YouTube, and we've got a bunch of new YouTube followers. It's great.
Cool.
I get the announcements for SoundCloud and Tumblr, and it's like
Cool.
at least 2 to 3 a week now.
Yeah, it's great, and
It's growing.
just new people.
Thanks for listening.
Yes, thank you very much.
Really
And-
quick,
go ahead.
before we go, I know we plugged him last week, and
Oh, yeah.
he's still to come. Q Dot, a local musician from Tacoma. He didn't reschedule this time. We rescheduled him, so he's to come. He wants to be on the show.
Cool, great.
So,
We
and,
just got to work it out with him, and then we'll
might-
let you know when it's coming up.
I'm gonna try to get a hold of Rain Wilson, who is local. He lives
Is
here.
he local?
He lives in
I didn't
Issaquah.
realize that.
Wow.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm gonna try and get.
Nice.
I'm gonna see if we
Why
can.
That'd be wild.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
That would be
I would
an
make
A-list-
out with him. Tell him I will make out with him if he comes on this. He's married.
Oh.
No, I'm not even kidding about Rainn Wilson. He's one of the most interesting people I've ever heard speak words.
I subscribe
in
to his.
interviews?
Wow. Cool.
I subscribe
Soul
to.
Pancake?
Yes,
Soul
it's
Pancake is-
amazing.
He does a philosophy platform, social media site that's
Nice.
just people who want to talk philosophy together.
Yeah.
And he produces like little
Feels-
videos.
It
and
feels really good. It's just
Yeah.
it's funny.
He is a deep soul. Like he's really funny. Like his comedy is genius to me. But listening to him talk, he's just one of those people that just seems so interesting to me.
Yeah.
That would be.
How can he not come on the show
I
after that?
know, totally. No, I'm like a legit fan, like a crazy fan.
Yeah, ever since
Yeah.
The Office, I've been a fan, and
I
I've seen.
know.
I've seen his movie. What was it?
Rockstar?
Super.
Oh, Super is great.
yeah, that was an amazing.
He has
movie.
another one called Rockstar where he plays this 40-year-old dude who tries to become a rock star. It's pretty funny.
No, he was a rock star. and He's trying to get back into it.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw it a long
Which one
time
did
ago.
you see that he tried to be a superhero?
That's
Super.
Super.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Where his-
With Ellen Page.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
High Branch.
That was
was
directed
his
by.
Why am I drawing a blank?
Anyway.
And then there was another one with he played in like Africa or something.
I'm trying to think. I don't know if I've seen
I
that.
think it had what's the guy that you always say to the rescue?
Matthew McConaughey to the rescue.
Yeah, I
He
think
did a
it was-
Matthew McConaughey movie?
I think it was with him.
Weird.
I'm
Okay,
not
we
sure.
gotta look
I'm
this
not
up.
sure. It could be somebody
I'll look it
else.
up and we'll post it on Facebook because
Okay.
I don't think I've ever seen that. I love a good Matthew McConaughey.
Is it
I could be wrong,
Sahara or
though.
something? Is it called
I
Sahara?
think it is.
Was
called
he in Sahara? I've seen Sahara.
Maybe
Okay,
that's a
I'm
different
gonna
movie.
check it
I
out.
don't know. I can
And he was
Right on.
Did we say where we relocated to?
Yes, the Tullys next to Little John's.
I couldn't
yeah,
remember. All right.
I did. I meant.
Gotcha.
I,
oh yeah, that's sort of the whole Little John's
yeah,
thing. All right.
exactly.
Sorry.
Cool. Well, thanks for listening, and tune in next week where we're very soon going to have our Empire Strikes Back episode, maybe in the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Yep.
And Thanksgiving is coming up, so happy Thanksgiving.
We need
and
to talk about Thanksgiving on the next one.
yeah, we will, for
Okay.
sure. Okay, next week we'll talk about Thanksgiving. So if you have any comments about that, please post them on our Facebook page. And thanks for listening. Huzzah!
Great.